Hello everyone. I'm going to be talking about the number one distraction of driving, and that is texting while driving. Texting while driving is the act of composing, sending, or reading text messages, emails, or making other similar use of the internet on a mobile phone while operating a motor vehicle. The consequences of texting and driving are not only harmful to you yourself as the driver, but to other people who are driving on the road. Of all cell phone related tasks, including talking, dialing, or reaching for the phone, texting while driving is the most dangerous. No text is worth the risk of your life, and I'm sure it can wait. But despite the consequences that I'm going to be talking about texting and driving, the majority of teen drivers ignore cell phone driving restrictions. And over 60% of American teens admit to risky driving, and nearly half of those that admit to risky driving also admit to text messaging behind the wheel. Almost 50% of all drivers between the ages of 18 and 24 are texting while driving. Over 1/3 of all young drivers ages 24 and under are texting on the road. And in 2007, driver distractions such as using a cell phone or text messaging contributed to nearly 1,000 crashes involving 16 and 17-year-old drivers. That's pretty scary. Each year, 21% of fatal car crashes involving teenagers between the ages of 16 and 19 were the result of cell phone usage. This result has been expected to grow as much as 4% every year. When I'm on the road, I always see people texting and driving almost all the time. And I admit I'm guilty of doing it myself sometimes, but when I heard about all the facts and statistics and consequences of texting and driving, it really made me think and really made me never want to take my eyes off the road or be distracted while I'm driving a car, because it really is dangerous, and the thought of losing my life over reading one single text message or sending one single text message could end my life. That's pretty scary thought. In 2012, an 18-year-old Massachusetts driver was convicted of motor vehicle homicide by texting, resulting in the loss of his license for 15 years and 2 years of jail time. Massachusetts outlawed texting and driving in 2010 and has aggressively enforced the law, writing 1,700 tickets last year. So not only can you endanger the person on the road, you can get a fine for it and tickets for it, and you would have to pay or even go to jail. I'm pretty sure every state is different, but just knowing that you can end someone's life and knowing that you yourself can go to jail for doing that really should make you think about sending that text or reading that text. If we lessen the percentage of people who text and drive, then we can lessen the car crashes and deaths that happen. Also, we can save people's lives just by not being distracted by your cell phone, because it's not only hurting yourself, it's hurting other drivers on the road. 75% of teens say that texting and driving is common among their friends. In 2011, at least 23% of auto collisions involve cell phones, and texting and driving makes a crash up to 23 times more likely. 77% of young adults are very or somewhat confident that they can safely text while driving. And I can definitely relate to that, because when someone is in the car with you and they tell you to stop, like texting and driving, you say, no, like, I got it under control. But really, you never know. Just by looking down that 1 second, you can crash. About 6,000 deaths and 500,000 injuries are caused by distracted drivers every year. While teenagers are texting, they spend about 10% of the time outside the driving lane they're supposed to be in. And talking on a cell phone while driving can make a young driver's reacting time as slow as that of a 70-year-old. And we all know that we hate being stuck behind a slow driver, and we just assume that it's an old person driving in front of us, but it could be a texter. So I'm sure that we wouldn't want to be put in the same category as an old driver because we ourselves hate when we're stuck behind them. And answering a text takes away your attention for about 5 seconds. That is enough time to travel the length of a football field. In 2009, 5,474 people were killed in the U.S. roadways, and an estimated additional 448,000 were injured in motor vehicle crashes that are reported to have involved distracted driving. 49% of adults say that they have been passengers in a car when the driver was sending or reading a text message on their cell phone. There are ways that you can get involved to stop texting and driving, and that is by going on to the website itcanwait.com. And on that website you can take the pledge to never text and drive. And there's videos on there. You can share your story. You can look at other people's stories, and you can spread the word by doing an activation kit about the dangers of texting and driving. It's a really good website to go on. And 1 million people chat and text while driving each day. People feel pressure to remain in constant contact even when behind the wheel. What drivers do not realize is that there are dangers posed when they take their eyes off the road and their hands off the wheel and focus on other activities other than driving. And I feel that is really the number one reason why people text and drive, because they do feel the pressure to remain in constant contact. Because within technology today, like our iPhones and stuff like that, we always want to stay in constant contact because we're so used to just answering that text message right away. But when we get behind the wheel, it's a more serious thing. We need to concentrate on the road rather than always concentrating on our phones. So as you can see, texting and driving should be really taken seriously, and it would help if everyone knew the statistics and dangers of it so we can finally put an end to it. And I'm going to tell you some tips to not text and drive. When you're in the car, put your phone where you can't get it, a place where you won't even be tempted to look for it. So no phone, no texting. And if you're going down the street, or somewhere quick, don't even take your phone so you won't be tempted to text. And the last one is turn off your phone while driving. And then when you get to your destination, turn it back on. I'm sure whoever is texting you can wait, so it's not the risk of your life. So I hope everyone stays safe on the road and remembers the consequences of texting and driving.